Hello, and welcome to coverage of custom standard casual matches. I'm Caillou. Today we're going to be watching a match between Doombringer, otherwise known as Reuben, and Philippe Sonaire. So Reuben is on red-black Izamergence, which is essentially like a control reanimator archetype, which aims to like slow the game down at the start, or do like lots of card selection, um, and then eventually win the game by reanimating a large demon and using its either like enters battlefield effect to uh, essentially like break board stalls and just kill your opponent. Meanwhile, on Philippe's end, Philippe is playing red white arm, which is an aggro deck which leverages the titular mechanic arm, which creates a equipment token, which gives +1/+1 and has equip 2 and attaches it to a creature. So Arm essentially gives the ability to pump up like a single evasive creature to attack for like damage in the air and make it like difficult for your opponent to clog up the board. Or if they do clog up the board, um, you can use the equipment tokens to start buffing your creatures, and that gives them like lots of longevity as opposed to like most aggro creatures, which once your opponent gets a good blocker in, it's very good. Philippe's deck also has like sources of card advantage like Burning Revelations, which is a browbeat variant, and Currency, which allows you to sacrifice equipment tokens to draw cards. So these early turns have been kind of boring on both sides. Both players kind of just playing lands, which is surprising for an aggro deck, but the reason that Philippe didn't play Conscription earlier is because Philippe wanted to play Liberated Armory. This enabled some of like, it's a very like win more card at most times, but it works well with like cards that allow you to go wide, like Conscription. So hence the sequencing there. Meanwhile, on Reuben's side of the table, he's playing Dark Soothsaying. This allows him to dig 3 cards deep, um, and look for a card, and then dump the rest in the grave. It's very good to like find a reanimation target and also a spell that you want. In this case, Reemergence. So Reemergence is the main reanimator spell in this deck. It returns a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, but the creature gets returned to your hand at the beginning of the next end step, which sounds bad. So how do you use this card to like actually like break parity and get something on the board? You use Izalith. So that's where the deck gets its name. Izalith plus Reemergence is Emergence. So Izalith, and when she attacks, you can despair her, which means you sacrifice her at the beginning of the next end step. And then if you do that, you can search your library for a demon card and then put it onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So even if Izalith gets returned to your hand at the beginning of the next end step, you get to keep the demon that she searches for, and that just becomes a big reanimator threat. So Philippe is going to attack with this aerial gunner, but then Reuben's going to respond with Journey's End, discarding an Izalith, and then next turn is going to be able to cast Reemergence to reanimate that Izalith. Fortunately, Philippe has a Serve the Empire, which is essentially, it works as a pacifism light. It basically makes enchanted creature can't attack, but then you can also get the full pacifism effect if you have an enchantment plus an artifact plus a creature. So Reuben is just going to run out to the Reemergence, get Izalith, and then probably get Ceaseless Discharge to deal a bunch of damage with Incendiary Revel. And yep, is getting Ceaseless Discharge. So this swings for a massive 14 damage on its own. Then Ceaseless Discharge adds 8 red mana, and then deals 6 more damage via Incendiary Revel, casting Incendiary Revel, and then playing Incendiary Revel with the exile mode of Incendiary Revel. So it's gonna ping Philippe for 2 more in the face, and then I think this is exactly enough to kill. So this is the 1-turn kill that Izamergence has access to. And yep, so Philippe just died there, didn't even get a chance to be able to play that Serve the Empire on Ceaseless Discharge. So, and that's the power of Izamergence. It hasn't been played for a while because it's been, there's lots of like good main deck cards to answer it because lots of people are playing instant speed removal, and it's just kind of like very fragile. but it's definitely like a good anti-meta pick because of how fast it is. It like stops decks that are like dirtling around, um, and has some new tools from the most recent sets that have been added to custom standard that people really haven't been like experimenting with yet because there have been like other new decks that people have been like tinkering with. Anyway, so I think out of sideboarding, Philippe probably should bring in Wander the Unknown, which is a 1 white instant speed exile target creature, um, and then your opponent gets to search their library for a basic land card. It's the best removal spell in the format right now, and it's one of the good ways that white has to deal with what Izamergence is doing. On Reuben's end, probably going to side in Sorin, who is one of the better anti-aggro planeswalkers, and Flamestorm, which is 1 red, deal 3 damage to each creature. It's basically the most solid like anti-aggro wipe in the format. So Philippe apparently brought in a Pithing Needle, putting it at the bottom of his library, but Pithing Needle is probably for Sorin. Good way to. I don't think Philippe's deck has many good ways to answer Planeswalkers other than just either hitting it with a large Mecha Dragon or be just like shutting it down with that artifact. Um, so just gonna play a Founding Hero. Has a good curve here of like Founding Hero into Hunter Seeker, but then stuff dries up until like the 5-drop slot. So and Reuben does have a double Incendiary Revel, so we'll be able to well, not next turn. So next turn we'll just have to eat the Founding Hero damage and the Hunter Seeker damage because Incendiary Revel costs 3. But starting starting turn 3, Reuben can start answering these creatures, and then can hopefully find a way to ditch this Izalith and then get Reemergence via Dark Soothsaying. For now, though, Reuben's just going to have to hold 2 damage, and then unless Reuben top decks a Journey's End, which he didn't, he'll have to hold another 4 damage next turn. Also probably wants a wipe at this point because Philippe has Conscription and will be able to like start generating a huge board. So and Passionate Congregation is also very strong. Probably not going to play it now though. Probably want to run out the Conscription first, get a board, and then you can like pay for the Tithe on Passionate Congregation. So Tithe is a mechanic where you can tap 3 artifacts or creatures to get an extra effect. In this case, getting 2 more hasty tokens. On Reuben's side of the table, it's probably gonna take 4 and then Dark Soothsaying to try and find a wipe, because Vibrant Rapture X equals 1 would be like amazing here. It would kill the Founding Hero. It won't kill the Hunter Seeker because the Hunter Seeker will go up to 2 toughness right here because it gets to be armed. But it will kill the Founding Hero and the Soldier, and will buy Reuben some time. So on end step is going to Dark Soothsaying. Who grabs a Reemergence. What is he binning? And manages to also bin an Izalith. This is exactly what Reuben needs. So Reuben can now play a Swamp, play a Reemergence. That was a very lucky Dark Soothsaying hit, getting both Reemergence and a Reemergence target in the same pile. So, probably gonna get Ceaseless Discharge again, and then can Incendiary Revel to like machine gun down some of Philippe's most important creatures. And Philippe is probably gonna block Izalith with the Soldier token anyways, because if he doesn't, he runs the risk of dying. So it doesn't really matter. Like Philippe can block Ceaseless Discharge, but then he'll still take 7 damage. So yeah, he's gonna block Izalith, so we'll only take 8 damage from the Ceaseless Discharge here. So Reuben, despite these 2 Incendiary Revels, won't quite be able to kill. But I don't think that Philippe doesn't have any removal for Ceaseless Discharge. Like Serve the Empire is pseudo removal, but then it doesn't stop the activated abilities. It doesn't stop the triggered ability of adding 8 mana. So Reuben will be able to kill Philippe next turn. So yeah, Reuben's just gonna deal 6 damage to face with the Incendiary Revel. Or could kill Hunter Seeker plus Founding Hero to be safe. Okay. And then next turn, because Thesis Discharge adds at the beginning of each main phase, so can, and if Philippe doesn't have 2 removal spells anyways, like, Reuben can just attack next turn. So yeah, it's just gonna play Incendiary Revel, flashback Incendiary Revel to kill Philippe's board. Next turn, Philippe gets a single a token from the conscription. We'll get some more tokens from Passionate Congregation. So Philippe can, like, we'll have like a reasonable number of blockers, but then Reuben just first main phase add 8, and then use the first Incendiary Revel ability, deal 6, go to second main phase, and then do another Incendiary Revel, and then Philippe just dies. So yeah, Philippe just plays the Passionate Congregation, attacks with both of the Cleric tokens, which is an interesting choice. So Reuben will take 2, but then now can just untap, Incendiary Revel face for 6, attack with Ceaseless Discharge for 7, the only blocker, or attack for 8, but the only blocker Philippe has is a soldier, so he'll take 7. So this game is over. Yep, and that's it. So good games to both players, but Reuben on Black-Red Izamergence takes it 2-0 over Philippe on Red-White Arm.